Let's bring in our guest to discuss this hour. Joining us, national trial attorney Michael Jaafar is with us. Michael, I do want to ask you about the order of witnesses, because the prosecution could have called Amanda to the stand during their case. They chose not to. Can you talk about prosecutors calling difficult witnesses, which often we see, where they, even if it's a pro-defense witness, they will put it in their case?
Yeah, I'm very puzzled as to why they didn't call her, but they must have had a reason. I think we're seeing some of the reason why they're not calling her, because she's basically just destroying their case. That remark she made about her brother Scott looking at the burn pile and how she went to the burn pile twice with her mom, and her mom did not seem off-put by being there, but Scott was looking at them. She didn't say the word menacing, but that's kind of the way she described it, the way I interpreted it, that Scott was looking at them menacing. And then, you know, the defense attorney asking her, hey, what do you think about, you know, him deleting the picture he had from his trail camera? I think the prosecution knew that she was going to be a bad witness. Still, you should bring her during your case in chief, because you can ask her questions directly, and you don't have to cross-examine her, because now they have to cross-examine her. That's going to be tough. I'm very interested to see what they bring up on cross-examination. But they made an intentional decision not to call her as a witness, but they called the other three kids. I'm really interested in seeing why, but she's clearly a powerful defense witness. Clearly her testimony, she just took the orb of reasonable doubt and she just made it a lot larger. It's a very large orb of reasonable doubt at this point, because at the beginning of this trial, I always say trials are like standing on a shifting ship, right? That's swaying left and right, right? If you catch a jury in one snapshot in time, they'll tell you, hey, the boat is tilting left right now where you look at me. But then if you get them a few seconds later, it's tilting right. At this point, trials are the same way. At the beginning of the trial, I was tilting towards conviction. Right now, I'm tilting towards acquittal because of this defense witness, also because of the fact that even an Olympic weightlifter can only bench press twice his weight. How are they going to convince a jury that she bench pressed and pushed 3 times her weight by killing her husband in one part of the house and moving him to the burn pit, then bringing her daughter, which she clearly loves, to look and witness the remains? I mean, that would just be the most pervasive, sadistic type of person in the world. I can't even imagine, maybe Dahmer's that type of a person, but I can't imagine that Melody Farris would be the type of person to burn her husband in a burn pit and bring her daughter, her offspring, who she carried in her stomach, to look and witness the burn pit. I can't get myself there. So I'm very riveted by this case. I did not think this case would be as interesting as it is turning out to be. So let's see how the prosecution, they're not done with direct testimony with her. Let's see how this testimony pans out and how the prosecution cross-examines. I really want to see that.
Yeah, she's a great witness. The only thing, that last question, it was, you know, great to get that in right before the lunch break. Remind the jury that that Scott deleted the trail camera images. I didn't like the way they did it, though, because they put her in a bad spot. They said, would it surprise you to know that Scott deleted those? I kind of feel like she already knew that.
I mean, she would have to, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I know she's sequestered for this case.
And then she played it out, like, I guarantee you the state says, are you telling us you didn't know that your brother deleted those trails? Because she went into what she thought she was supposed to do at that moment and acted like
that would be so shocking. Why would he be doing this? We were looking for our father, and it looked
and that's
real.
not her fault. That's the way it was framed, that question. It put her in a bad spot, because otherwise, boom, she nailed it. She's just such a compelling storyteller, such a genuine, like, her emotions came out at the exact points where you'd want them to. And Michael, you can't coach that. You can't coach the waterworks on cue when she's remembering her dad or remembering this or that. I mean, this was quintessential, honest civilian witness.
Everybody emotes differently, and I agree with you. She emoted in a way that was very credible and sincere. We know that this is, in my opinion, to my knowledge, this is the first time that even the defendant was emotional and cried. And I could be wrong, but I don't recall seeing her emote or be emotional at any other time in this case, and her daughter brought it out of her. So I think her daughter came off very credible. Juries are sitting there to weigh credibility of witnesses. You can have a witness go on the stand and say, no, I know for a fact you didn't do it. And if they just say it in a way that is not credible, you're not going to believe them, right? You're going to discard their testimony and put it in the category it needs to be, right? with her, she came off very credible. Like I said, she shifted me definitely in favor of an acquittal. I'm not saying Melody's innocent. I'm just saying I think reasonable doubt has been increased by her daughter. Her daughter has been a powerful witness. We've known that the daughter was going to be called in the defense's case from before the defense took the case from a while back. I didn't know why. Now I know why. She's a powerful witness. I agree with you, Ted, that the defense attorney asked the question very awkwardly. They tell you in a trial setting, especially in a criminal defense trial setting, never ask a question you don't know the answer to, and you cannot see the ramifications of the question down the line. If what you're saying is correct, and I didn't think about it until you said it, but if what you're saying is correct and the prosecution pounces it, because the prosecution, in my opinion, other than that, this is the most difficult cross-examination you could have as a defense attorney or a prosecution. This is something they can't train you for. So if you are correct, Ted, then they're going to pounce on her and they're going to impugn her credibility. So that would have been a big mistake and misstep by the defense attorney.
We will see how it goes. We are getting word that the parties are actually gathering, that lunch break is wrapping up. So we're going to get to a break.
Michael Jaafar, how's the state doing so far? Leaning into, hey, you're biased, kid, is basically the theme.
A+. I was wondering how they would cross-examine this particular witness. I'm giving this attorney an A+, both for his cadence, for his rhythm, for the tone, for the way he's asking the questions. And I also give the defense attorney an A+ because I knew he had to get it in that she weighed 120 pounds and that Gary Farris was 3 times her size. I knew he had to get it in, 6'5", so A+ to him, but also A+ to the prosecution. This cross-examination, again, this is the most difficult cross-examination for an attorney when you have a sympathetic witness that's coming off credibly. Cross-examining them, in my opinion, is the most difficult cross-examination you can have. It's not a buffet of fun for the attorney doing the cross-examination, but I give him an A+ so far for the way he's doing.
Yeah, certainly a sympathetic witness in Amanda, depending on how the jury is perceiving her. Let's get to that break. We'll get you back in for more of her testimony on